What is up, everyone? Hope you guys had a decent day of trading today. I, for one, had 2 trades that I took. Both were dubs. So I'm just going to kind of go over what trades I took and why I took them. So the first trade I took was based off this 144 range bar. So you can see this one that closed in this supply zone that I kind of had drawn out. So what I always do, just wait till the price kind of retraces back into the 50% level, which it does up here. And now I'm just gonna go onto the 34. So we can see that there was a high that was formed right there, and then another one formed just right next to it right here. And oh, this is the 55, excuse me. I need to go into the 34. I was like, something's not adding up. All right, here we go. Dang, look at this. This looks weird. All right, I'm gonna restart. So we had a high that was formed here, but then this high was kind of taken out right here. So it was only taken out by literally one tick. This high was at what? At 47. This one was at 47.25. So it's literally just a point or a tick higher. And we have decent buying, at least 2 candles of buying pressure. And that's honestly all you really need. It doesn't need to be like 10 candlesticks that are just up close candles in a row. It can be 2, and that's fine. As long as the setup kind of occurs within that zone, then we're fine. So we find that there's this high, we have this low down here. So this is the first area that we're kind of looking at. So you can draw a box there, and you want to see price make a low, then a high, then break below the low, and then retest the area to see if you should enter short or not. As you can see, I kind of entered way down here. I was luckily I just got filled out like right before it kind of made the bounce back up, but that's just due to market fill orders. This move happened extremely quick. You can see that from this candle close, it happened at 6:36, 26 seconds. This candle closed 2 seconds later. 2 seconds later it closed. And then this candle closed 3 seconds later after this. So from 24, 23, it moved down 15 points within 5 seconds. And this was like extremely volatile, or I guess very quick, at least for today's trading day, because I'm telling you, market's just not been like as volatile as it has been in the past. It's moving pretty slowly, I would say. So anyway, back to the trade idea. So we have this high that took out this previous high inside the retracement zone. This new low is created. Now we kind of want to see what happens inside the zone. We can see that we get a new high created right there, and we get a new low created from this candle right there. So I'm just going to remove these guys just so there's no confusion. So now we have high and a low. What we need to happen is we need to see if price can break below the low and hold down under. So it clearly does that fairly well. And now we just wait for price to kind of come back into this area. And we do not want price to break above this high once price retraces back into this area. So if you want, you could draw like another box if you really wanted to. Have it be like, just like this. So it's kind of like visually, I guess, easier to see. So, So I'm just gonna get rid of this bigger box because we already know that this high and this low was the original areas that we were looking at. But I will move this there and move this guy there, just so we know that these are the two highs and lows that we were originally looking at. This is the intermediate step that occurred inside the bigger area. Confirmed breakout to the downside, wait for price to retrace back into this area, does right here. And as soon as we get that first candle close without breaking above the high right here or the top of this box, just enter short for a quick 10-point scalp, because we are approaching a demand zone. And this orange line right here is the pre-market POC, pre-market point of control. So I knew price was gonna want it to retrace back to this area and potentially bounce from this area, so I just knew that it had to be a very quick snipe. As you can see, I entered right there, was able to exit here. To make it a little clearer, this was my entry at 18.75, my exit was at 8.75. The low of this candle was actually at 8.25, so it went 2 ticks lower than my 10 points. But even if, say, price only went down to 10.5, I still would have gotten stopped out of break even if I had an ample amount of time, because this move actually did occur fairly quickly. You can watch my live recap, you can actually watch my live recap to see how kind of surprised I was that it moved so quickly. I didn't even have time. It was like, I kid you not, it was like a second long trade. It was quick. So that's pretty much just the first entry I took. Nice quick short. You can see it kind of did go down a little bit more. So I've noticed on the 34 range, I could probably aim for a little bit more than 10 points. I could aim for 15 points at max, but nothing too much more. So I'm fine with just 10 points. This is first trade I took, and then, I was waiting a while. That trade, I took it at 6:36, then I was waiting a while. Market really wasn't moving too much, and in this area is 7 o'clock. You can see that for 20 minutes, it was just ranging within 50 points. It was not really doing much, not much opportunity. Then I knew data was coming out, being released at 7, which starts right here, but still did not do anything. Right here is at 7:10, so 10 minutes after the data being released, and I think it was some Michigan consumer something. So it's it's like a 3-star out of 3-star. So it's very high priority data, but I don't know what market's thinking. So let me go over the second trade I took. The second trade was based off the 377. So we can see that this first candle right here, where the vertical line is, that is the pre-market information, the pre-market data. So it just ranged from 969 to 2463. So I was just waiting for a price to kind of retrace back into the 50% level, as per usual, what we always do. Then whenever I'm looking at the 377, I like to pair it with the 89 volumetric. So for the 89 volumetric, this is what I was kind of looking at. Let me get rid of this and this. Oops, not that. No, not that. There it is. So what I was looking at is we have a decent retracement back into this 50% level. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down close candles that are consecutive. Then I kind of just want to see a bounce. So this is the original high. This down here is the original low. And now I kind of just want to see what happens inside this zone area. So we can see that a high was created up here. And now we have a low that's created down here. So what I look for is I look for a confirmed breakout above this high. So you can see that the candle on the first touch above this high, it was not a confirmed breakout. So therefore, I am no longer interested in this long play, at least in this specific area. So I just gotta wait. You gotta be patient and see what happens. Also, this was when data was released as well. So I keep waiting until we break this high. If we break this high and I don't see any setup, I'm not interested. I'm no longer interested. I'm just gonna look for another potential opportunity somewhere else. But luckily, we were able to form another high here and another low here. So you can see that on the very first candle that breaks above this new high, I'm gonna bring this over there. So now this is our new high, this is our new low that we're looking at. We get a nice confirmed breakout above on the first touch. Now we just wait for a retracement back into this zone area. Back into here. We don't want price to break below this low, so break below the low of this box. Once price comes back into this zone that we have drawn out, we want to see a bounce. And it bounces right here. I was able to set a buy limit order or a buy stop order. Pretty much saying like if price gets to 49.50, I want to enter long there. And I was just able to do that because price was not really moving too much, not being too volatile. So I was able to take my time and make sure that this was a proper area to set the limit order, the buy stop order at. And you can see I was able to do it. My entry was there. My stop would have been below this box. And you can see that it just ran up. It went up to 115 and I entered at 49, so at like 50. So it ran up like at least 60 points easily. And I definitely could have held all during that time, but you know me, I'm fine with my 10 points. I don't really need much more, but I have noticed that for the 89 range, I could definitely get at least 20 points. So who knows, maybe sometime in the future, I don't know, I'll just aim for the 20 points instead of the 10 points for the 89R. But this is pretty much the trade that I took on the 89R. Yeah, so it's, you know, just pretty simple day, I would say. And I took a long into this supply zone because we were bouncing off of this pre-market POC. That's why I felt a little bit more confident going along into the supply zone. And you can see that this supply zone is kind of acting like a demand zone now. That's what happened to this level over the past couple of days as well. But yeah, so those are just the two trades I took. It's very simple, nothing complex. Like I'm not even using really any indicators at all. These lines that I have, the VWAP and the 233 EMA, I honestly really don't use them. They're just kind of there. I also have like the 8 EMA, I think, or the 13 EMA and the 13 SMA on like some other charts, but I also really don't use it. Yeah, like you don't really need indicators, honestly. Just indicators, like the more you have, the more messed up your chart's gonna look. I guess the only indicator I do really use is just my custom indicators that tell me when we're retracing into like the 144 area or 233 area, so on and so forth. And then I just have some boxes drawn out, some volume profile, and that's pretty much it. Like you don't need anything complex. The volume profile is just mainly just to find supply demand zones. Yeah, these are my two trades that I took today. Don't really need to do much else. Like just stick to your guns, stick to your strat, honestly. Don't deviate from it. you should be fine. With that being said, enjoy your weekend, guys.